It's not far right wing. Far right wing means you become, what's the word? There's a term for that. So when you're leftist, you are communist. When you're far right, you just want to be left the heck alone. Hitler was not a fan. Hitler says all propaganda has to be popular and has to accommodate itself to the comprehension of the least intelligent of those whom it seeks to reach. That's why we can say that Abdul propaganda is so stupid. It has to be suited for the lowest common denominator. Even the lowest operator on the rung of the ladder has to be able to understand this and spout it out, right? By the skillful and sustained use of propaganda, one can make a people see even heaven as hell, or an extremely wretched life as paradise. Hitler believed Christianity was a tool used by the Jews to destroy nations. Far left means communism. Far left means you are communal. It's communism. Far right is, that's on the spectrum where you just want to be left alone. There's a term for that. It'll come to me. Christianity in its Bolshevistic form destroyed art and civilization. Christianity invented class warfare requiring anti-Jewish measures. Made for Alonzo, yes, the Duza. Christianity was the first creed in the world to exterminate its adversaries in the name of love. Christianity's main theme is intolerance. Bolshevism was Christianity's illegitimate child, both being inventions of the Jew. The deliberate lie in the matter of religion was introduced into the world by Christianity. Thank you, Nicodemus Serpico. What kind of tangents are the streamers on this for in? All right. Far right wing are conservative. The far left has shifted. So they will arrive on the shores of China soon. That is true. Okay. Hitler believed Christ was an Aryan, and St. Paul used his doctrine to mobilize the criminal underworld and thus organize a proto-Bolshevism. Right. These are all statements that are derived from what Luther has said. Now, we're going to be using different variants of this particular Hitler's table talk from 1941 to 1944. It's interesting to note that Martin Luther also left behind table talks. This is the new edition, the only complete record of Hitler's private thoughts and plans with additional documents and materials. Now, the table talks. The authenticity of the table talks, also known as the Hitler-Bormann monologues, is debated amongst historians. A series of informal conversations between Adolf Hitler and his inner circle that took place between 1941 and 1944, recorded by Heinrich Heim, the stenographer, and later edited by Martin Bormann, Hitler's private secretary. It is believed that Bormann made edits and alterations to the transcripts to portray Hitler in a more positive light. You will find that these table talks are highly negative of Hitler. So him trying to make them even more positive, and the fact that they're already so incredibly negative, means what he said must have been much worse. Right? So he removed sensitive or controversial topics, for instance, the Holocaust. Now, some argue that the German version must be treated with caution, and that the English translation, based on earlier transcripts, is more reliable. Others argue the exact opposite. So understand now, atheists are going to come along, and they're going to say, well, the table talks have been proven to be completely fallacious, and therefore they're totally fake, and therefore not a single word in them is true, and therefore they can't be used because whatever. Nonsense. That claim is derived from Richard Carrier. So, because efforts are made by atheists, especially to discredit the English version due to work done by Richard Carrier. Now, it's a long story. The short version is this. Richard Carrier showed that 4 of 42 specific citations were apparently mistranslated. Right? So he showed that now there's not just 42 citations in the entire book. It's hundreds of pages. But of 42 specific citations that they examined, 4 of them proved to be false, and therefore the whole book is false. Understand? Right, let's continue. Right, now, atheists peddle in propaganda. The intention is to examine history in detail to see if the atheist and Muslim claim that Hitler was a Christian is true with any factual validity. The claim is propaganda. This is meant to imply that Hitler was acting from Christian doctrine and thus discredit the faith. This talk should demonstrate that the atheist evangelists, apologists, propagandists, however you want to call them, and the Muslim Dawah propaganda practitioners are lazy, generally ignorant, easily led, gullible, stupid, and malicious. Jesus, Christianity, and the Bible were shaped by the political and ideological needs of Nazi Germany, as we will see. And Einstein here would not be impressed with these atheists. I'm sorry about my old English accent. I really apologize for that. I'll work on that. Okay, so let's talk about Nazis' positive Christianity. By the way, there aren't 125 slides for anyone who's checking. There's 70 slides, so I just forgot to change that number. Hitler and the Nazis sought to replace traditional Christianity with positive Christianity, what they called a positive Christianity. They attacked the church in Germany by attempting to bring it under state control, persecuting Christian leaders who opposed their regime. Priests were often influential leaders in their community, and so they were sought out by the Nazis. Thousands of priests were forced into concentration camps. Most were made to die slowly of starvation or disease. A special barracks was set up at Dachau, the camp near Munich, Germany, for clergymen. The Nazi idea of positive Christianity basically was designed as propaganda to allay fears of Germany's Christian majority by implying that the Nazi movement was not anti-Christian.